You know what I have been missing in Airsoft? A game that you can take home with you. Even after the game or in between games, you can be part of it. Something bigger than just one game or just one location. An event series that can be built on where the creativity of players and myself as an organizer, I can go as crazy as I want to. And of course, something that is open for everybody to join. If you are a new player or a veteran player, you should have a place in that series. And as myself, as an event organizer, I have so many different creative juices flowing through my brain, and I had dozens of conversations with other people about certain things that I wanted to do, but it didn't connect together. And a conversation with a friend that made everything click together into one massive project, which is called the Shattering.
Rivalry between the Onyx Brigade and the Quantum Order traces back to a catastrophic event known as the Shattering, an earthquake that devastated much of the surrounding lands, causing mass displacement and a resource crisis. Both factions blame each other for the suffering that followed. In the aftermath, the Onyx Brigade's ancestors attempted to migrate into Skylara Vale for survival, only to be met with resistance. The Order's people, fearing the Brigade's desperate raids and relentless approach, saw them as violent oppressors. Generations later, the Shattering is remembered as the bitter origin of a long-standing hatred. While newer generations are often unaware of the true events, both sides have fostered and embellished tales of betrayal, honor, and survival. Their leaders have skillfully used this shared history to rally their troops and justify the ongoing skirmishes.
And I am super excited about this project because when everything clicks together as it should be, when you have been thinking about those things for a few years now, yeah, that is an amazing feeling as an organizer. This is just the first step. The idea was there. Now I have to bring that idea to a feasible thing that I can bring to the people, the players, on a field. So let's go back to the beginning and I will explain you what the whole idea behind this idea is. So with the move to Sweden a few months ago, I wanted to go back to organizing games. It was something that I have been doing in the past a lot and I really love doing it. I love to be creative with games, I tried new things and I really missed doing that because of other Airsoft projects that I was doing, like making videos or helping the associations or the community grow or any other things I was doing on the side with Airsoft. And with the move to Sweden, I wanted to go all in with organizing games. I wanted to organize games every month. I wanted to have different games. And I already had a few ideas that I have been running in the past in Belgium or some completely new stuff that I've started doing here in Sweden. Like the Airsofter World games that came with the Airsofter World platform or the team games that I have been running for over 10 years in Belgium and people loved going to those games. And another thing is the target shooting that we have been doing with the team and all the fun stuff. I want to bring it to here, to Sweden. And each type of event speaks to a certain person, like the team games, that's more for teams or people that want to be part of something bigger and want to go to bigger games. The target shooting, that's for people that really want to shoot targets and are very competitive on a time scale level. And then the Airsofter World games is a very competitive way of doing things. So I was missing that thing for a Sunday game and I had different ideas, but it didn't click. And then with a conversation with Gabriel from RS Alpha, he told me like, you need something that connects all those dots. And he was completely right. Because I had different ideas for games. I wanted to make games with two sides. That was not too difficult to join in for. I wanted to have a special way of leading those sides with base commanders that were giving orders to those people. And I actually tried that game already in Sweden once. And people were so surprised of how good a game like that runs. I also wanted to link the different games to each other in a certain way that even if the game was not on or you missed the game, that you could be part of the full storyline. And of course, it needed to be RS Alpha based because I love using RS Alpha on games like that, where people can go back, they can see where everything is going, they can find objective, and they have that extra layer on top of the event that is going on. But I was missing a key ingredient to bring everything together. And thanks to Gabriel, that puzzle just clicked. But that is only the beginning. This is the start of the Shattering. This is the start of an event series that hopefully will go on for many years and have many events in that series so we can keep it going for a very long time. While this is only the beginning, I have a lot of ideas ready to implement that. But we need to start with the beginning, which is hosting this game and see how people like it. And from that point on, we're gonna keep growing, we're gonna keep building up till the fact that, well, I don't think there is an ending in this series because there is so much stuff that I can do with it. And trust me, it's not empty yet. But what actually is the Shattering now? Now on my website, I go a little bit more in detail about the ID, the events, the faction, the territory, the rules. A lot of things are already online for a few weeks or even a few months now. Now, the Shattering goes away from everything that is happening in the world. It is an alternative timeline that has nothing to do with what is happening today. And there is no good or bad, there's just two sides fighting for territory. And those two factions battled it out for a territory that has become scarce to be able to survive in the wasteland after that big earthquake that was called the Shattering. And the main idea is that there will be two sides on every game. There will be base commanders, they will be given missions, there will be multi-missions, but everything is going to be steered in a certain way. And of course, everything is going to be linked to the storyline of the Shattering. Now we're going to go to the territory in a little bit, but I want to give you a little bit about the event itself. Now each event is a battle over territory. The territory is divided over 17 different districts, and an event can go over one district, or if it's a bigger event, it's going to go over multiple districts. And there's going to be a winner at the end of the day. One of the faction is going to be victorious in a way that we're going to determine on site or after the battle, and then there will be something happening, but I'm coming to that in a little bit. You know what? Let's go to it right now. So if you go to the territory, I'm gonna go, yeah, it will make sense. Now this is the territory, and as you can see, there is a red and there is a blue side. Everything in the middle is just neutral territory. After each battle, for example, we take the top left one, that is now a neutral one, and we're gonna have the first battle on this district. And if the Onyx Brigade or the Quantum Order wins the battle, they will have control over that territory, which means that this is the progress map for the whole storyline. So if the Onyx Brigade wins, this is going to be a red territory controlled by the Onyx Brigade. The next game, it can be a game of 120 players, and we're gonna fight over the bottom two districts. And then, for example, the Quantum Order will take home the win and have control over the bottom two territories. So that means that the bottom two territories are gonna be blue, the top one is gonna be red. And then later on, we're gonna come back to certain territories and we're gonna fight over it again. And this progress map is gonna show what the balance is of the territory in the wastelands after the Shattering. And well, we're here now anyway. If you scroll down, there's gonna be battle reports after each battle, which means that I'm gonna work out stuff. There's gonna be storyline stuff, there's gonna be easy stuff, there's gonna be difficult stuff, there's gonna be stuff that you will be taking to the next game, there's gonna be stuff that will stop, there's so much stuff that I can do with it, and I'm really looking forward to pour all my creativity in this storyline. Now the rules are going to be different for each game, so it's important that if you sign up for a game, you read the rules on Airsofter World, because every game, every site might have different rules. Because with this, I want to go to a lot of different fields. I want to play this type of game all over Sweden, and this will eventually come to something that I'm not going to talk about yet because I've been working on for a while. So next up, the story and the faction. And as you have heard in the intro, and yes, I will play the intro again at the end of this video, and I'm curious on how you look different at the intro after I gave you this explanation. And as you've heard, there are two sides. It's the Onyx Brigade and it's the Quantum Order, and they are battling over a territory. Well, we just explained that. But it was important for me to have something to be able to connect to. So if you go to events, Shattering, and you go to the story, you will see that the first story is the text that is going on in the intro, and below that you have a summary of the factions. So there is the Onyx Brigade with the dark scarlet red, and their home town or home place on the planet is the Iron Reach, and their philosophy is strength and survival at any cost. Combat style is close quarter, resilient fighters, and they have a motto which is strength is survival. As you can see, I wanted to create something completely new. There is no link to anything else. This is the Onyx Brigade. And if you feel like, oh, this is something that I can rally behind, you sign up for the Onyx Brigade. Now, the Quantum Order is deep navy blue. They have a home of the Scholar Veil. Defense of knowledge and prosperity is their philosophy. Combat style is strategic and tech-focused defenses. Their motto is knowledge protects. Now, there's even more information for each faction. If you click on the Onyx Brigade, you see the whole background of the Onyx Brigade with their key threats. Just read through it. I'm not going to go over everything. I'm just going to let you discover it. And if you go to the Quantum Order, it's the same thing. They have a background story, where they come from, what is going on, what their story is, how they lived the past years, and then they also have key treats. Also, I'm not going to go over that. Take your time to read it, and then you can sign up for any sides for the game. And you might see, if you go to an event of the Shattering, if you go to information, if you scroll down, there will be 3 factions to join up on. That's 1, the Onyx Brigade, 2, the Quantum Order, and 3, undecided. That is for you that doesn't really care which side that you will be on, or you have no idea what the 2 sides are going to be. You just click the undecided, and then on site you will be split into a certain group depending on how many people we have in different groups. So if you don't know, click undecided, and if you're really, I want to be part of the Quantum Order, you choose the Quantum Order and you keep going with that faction. Wow, you can change if you want to, of course, but this is not how I would play. I want to stick with my faction. And I actually got a question from somebody that asked, like, what if the games are unbalanced? What if one side has 50 people and the other side has 20 people? Well, we'll see what happens, because it's my task, my job as an organizer to create a certain game. And I want to see if we can have unbalanced games in a way of player amounts, but still have a balanced game in game-wise. And I like a challenge. So I'm really curious how that will play out, and if it will be possible to do that. I really think it is, because I already have a lot of ideas on how to do it. And even after the game, when it was unbalanced, it's going to be reflected in the battle report, because this is going to be a representation of the battle like it was. Like, if the Onyx Brigade was outnumbered by the Quantum Order, but they still pushed back the Quantum Order, this is going to be reflected in the battle report. So you can read everything that happened during that day, and that's why I think this is going to be very interesting to keep people engaged in the whole storyline and keep going. And you might have noticed that I'm very excited about this game style, this series, but still I have to contain myself, because we have to do this step by step. I need to start with doing the first game, listening to the players. What is your idea? How did you experience this way of playing? And if everything works the first one, then we go to the next one, and then to the next one. And even though I have a million ideas already ready to be implemented in this storyline, we have to have the first game in March. So if you want to sign up, go to the Airsofter World page. Of course, it's going to be in the description. And if you're watching this video a little bit later after the release and we had some games already, there's going to be games ready to sign up for in the future. And because this is new and I question everything that I do, you might have noticed that on the things that I'm talking about. Just put your comments about what you think that this might do good or bad. Leave it in the comments, and I will be overstressing those comments. So I'm really looking forward to hear the feedback about this video. But with this video, I wanted to explain a little bit more what the whole idea, the beginning of the Shattering is, and where we're gonna go in the near future. And like I said, we're gonna finish off this video with showing you the teaser again. I really hope that this video made a little bit of sense and you are excited to follow me in the Shattering game event series. Hopefully I can see you in one of the games really soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a game very soon, or in the next video. Bye guys.
Rivalry between the Onyx Brigade and the Quantum Order traces back to a catastrophic event known as the Shattering. An earthquake that devastated much of the surrounding lands, causing mass displacement and a resource crisis. Both factions blame each other for the suffering that followed. In the aftermath, the Onyx Brigade's ancestors attempted to migrate into Scholar Veil for survival, only to be met with resistance. The Order's people, fearing the Brigade's desperate raids and relentless approach, saw them as violent oppressors. Generations later, the Shattering is remembered as the bitter origin of a long-standing hatred. While newer generations are often unaware of the true events, both sides have fostered and embellished tales of betrayal, honor, and survival. Their leaders have skillfully used this shared history to rally their troops and justify the ongoing skirmishes